setting. Ikaw lang.
Okay lang. Ikat mo lang. Huwag kayo magtawa. Abi, ako
Dito ka mag-awak sa gitna. Oh. Yan.
Okay na.
Setting. The story took place in the old man's house. Most of the story
Sa side ka, be. Sa side ka. Kaya dito ang mag-flash ang mga PowerPoint.
Okay lang. Kasi,
What if mag-record din ako sa phone? Tapos send ko lang sa'yo yung
sound
ano.
recorder.
Oh, di ba?
At the same time, mag-ano.
Para sa isa ano.
Hindi, okay lang.
Mahina talaga, maniwala kayo sa akin.
No joke, kasi
Tapos
mas
kung idagdag mo yung
malakas pa yung
volume, mas
aircon.
marinig yung ano, ambience.
Yes. Marunong din siya maggawa ng film, parang filming ano. Parang
Dito sa phone ko?
Ngayon na. Don't worry, maano ka lang, ma-unite ko lang siya.
Ano, recorder or...
Recorder na lang, mas malakas yung recorder. Tapos, see,
Kaso,
speech.
Lala.
ay, pangit.
Hindi okay lang, sige na.
Setting. Ay, setting lang. Setting. Huwag ka magtawa. Setting. The story took place in the old man's house. Most of the story happens specifically inside the old man's bedroom. The atmosphere are dark and tense. The narrators describe the darkness as thick and black. This atmosphere further influence this atmosphere influence further
Further horror, parang gothical, ano,
further influence
further influence.
this atmosphere further influence the narrator's insanity. He took this setting
Sige na.
He took advantage of this setting for him to observe the old man and plans for the old man's death.
Good. Next, ikaw na. Huwag na natin ikat para mas maganda kung nakita ka. Kasi, ano,
Na, pangit yung ano, consternation ko din.
okay lang.
Nay ko ano. Recorder.
Lagay, i-record mo din siya sa recorder mo. Huwag mo lang gamit yung cellphone niya na lang.
Setting.
Wait lang.
Oh my God.
No.
Wait, yan na lang para once for all mag-share ito.
Pwede ba ito mag-share sa ano?
Mag-share.
Share ko lang sa'yo. Kasi ni-rename ko naman ito lahat.
Sige.
Wait lang.
Okay lang explanation ko?
Okay lang.
Sure ba?
Yes!
Wala magtawa ha?
Huwag na magtawa. Ikaw lang yung tumatawa dyan.
Ipapogi mo kami dyan.
Kasi yung kamay ko po siya. Wait lang, sino? Ano? Wait.
Pakarecord.
Play mo muna, play mo.
Source dahil.
Asa?
Mali yung mong sword. Na ano, nawa siya ilalag.
Uy, si Kwan man gumag-ingon.
Dali na.
Ay, wag na kayo mag-ano.
Sama na, uy.
Alis na para matapos na.
I will
Tingnan mo yung ano.
Okay na.
Yeah.
now I will
Ano kayo?
I will discuss to you about the plot. First is the exposition. The narrator describes his hate or tells his hate about the old man. So he said that he is not mad of the old man, but he hates his vulture-like eyes. Next is the inciting incident. The narrator decided to get rid of the old man to free himself of the old man's vulture eyes because he hates the eyes of the man, but he said that he's not mad at the old man. Next is the rising action. The narrator visit countless nights in the old man's bedroom to look at the old man if he's awake or he's asleep, because during those 7 nights the narrator sees the man sleeping, so he don't have any reasons to kill the man. Next is the climax. On the 8th day, on the right night, he finally fulfilled the plan and he successfully murdered the old man in the bed. So in the 8th night, the narrator discovered that the old man is wide awake. So he has the reason to kill the man because he sees his vulture eyes. Next is the falling action. The narrator cleaned the crime scene very expertly because he hide the old man's body in the
Floorboard.
floorboard.
Floorboards.
Next is the resolution. Three policemen arrive for an investigation because his neighbor heard a loud scream at the house. So he reported it to the Chinga!
Sige na, tuloy mo, dali. Take 2, yung resolution na lang, dali.
Solution na lang, bilis.
Resolution na lang.
Oh my God!
Tignan na, dali na.
5, 6, 7.
Naka-play. Sige na.
In the resolution, three policemen arrived at the house to investigate about what happened to the house because their neighbor reported the scene or reported it to the policeman because he or she heard something a scream at the house. Next is the denouement. Denouement is
Denoma.
The denouement or the noma is overwhelmed by his previous killing because of his paranoia because he's paranoid because he's hearing, although the old mans are dead, he can hear loudly the heartbeat of the old man. So because of his paranoia, he ano bang umamin?
He confessed.
Because of his paranoia, he confessed about what he did to the old man. Next. Hi, sir.
Hi, sir. So, Bibi.
Mga plastic kayo.
Hi, sir. Wait lang. Ay, wag. Ano? Amanda? Next, ikaw na. For the evaluation.
Teka lang. Flat. Jewel. Flat yun, no? Pwede ka magkalito dito sa ano. Go.
Pucha. Si Hari.
Asa na ka doon, Mike?
O, tingnan mo kung pwede yung perspective.
Siya na yung bahala mag-adjust. Sige na.
Yalbi tayo. Sige. Alisin mo ba yung cellphone kanina sa kanya?
For the evaluation, what do you think about the story? So for me, the story is a gripping story because it dives deep into the mind of someone who's clearly losing their grip on reality. And what I love about it is how Edgar Allan Poe creates tension, especially with the constant fucker.
Tingnan mo, hindi nga sa cut lang ang sila.
With the constant focus of the sound of my heart, which drives the narrator to madness. And what are the elements that work well is that the narrator's voice, because the story did a great job in pulling you into the mind of someone who's clearly losing their mind and who's clearly not stable. And
Yun yung evaluation? Sige na. Ay, sige.
Sabi mo yung line and that's all. Sabi mo lang. That's
Ay,
all.
meron ka pa.
Sabi ka lang line na that's all.
and that's all.
Sige na.
Sabi para, ayusin mo. That's all.
Next ako.
Uy, ano na bakil?
Ano, nada pa? Kung sabi niya tapos nyo.
And
Umuwi sa mo yung that's all. Oh.
no, hindi naman sir. And one of the elements that didn't work well for me is about the repetition because the story often mention about the old man's eye and and the sound of a heartbeat, which makes the story a little bit tiring, and it's like a note being played over and over.
Nandun kasi mga bloopers.
Ito na ba alam mo?
Yeah. And that's
Yes, no
all.
problem. Gawin kong 9-minute
No.
mark.
Kasi
And
ito na
that-
ba diskarte, kaya mo. Parang summarize mo yung mga sinabi namin. Ito na bahala. Okay na.
Next ako na.
Okay, isa-save ko muna.
I was finally. Si
Pause
Aldin.
muna, pause muna, pause.
Kahit wag na
Pause
kasi
lang.
kung patawa to. Like, kasi
Parang
i-save ko yan yung mga memories natin.
Venus no, Venus.
Like 10 years from
Basta
now.
save, evaluation.
Huwag ka mag-delete ng video. Eventually, kung tatanda ka, hala.
Till the light is my eyes.
Ganun ginagawa pa rin sa start ko na.
Sino mag-host?
Sige ko.
Sino yan para siya ng bag ka?
Ba't alisin ko ba yung mga bag ko?
Uyel bag, doy!
Hindi ako lang. Diyan na lang. We thank you a lot. Ayun no? Is it? Okay. Dapat straightforward. Okay, now we're actually talking about the team's motives and style. The work's main theme is all about the line between madness and rationality. The story's premise focuses on narrator, then denying and attempting. Balik ulit.
Ano yan, Nay? Summary?
Theme. Okay, now that I'm actually going to discuss the themes, motifs, and styles. Now, the work's main theme is all about the line between rationality and madness and rationality. So the story's premise focuses on narrator denying and attempting to prove that they are not mad, okay? So there are two main symbols in the story, short story. The first one is the eyes, which represents the evil, and you know that. And the second one is the heart, which represents the narrator being paranoid. Now, as it becomes more clear that while they display their patience and forethought, the narrator does not. Wait lang, the narrator cannot understand. The narrator lost its ability whether or not he can still read it. What? Oh my god. The narrator lost its ability to reason out. So the narrator is convinced of their sanity, suggesting that the same thing could happen to anyone who's actually reading his book. And that's all about themes, motifs, and style. And the style is about Gothic and how dark or how it gets darker, his thoughts and the actions and his rational, his rational and actions are not based on, his decisions and actions are not based on rational thought. Thank you.
Sinasabi ko lang yun.
Till the light is my eyes.
Producer,
Ulit daw.
I am very sorry about that. Hindi, ulit.
Then nakatuloy pa yun ang...
Nakatuloy pa rin. Okay.
Parang mamatay na ako.
Okay, now we're going to discuss about the themes, motifs, and style. Now, the work's main theme is all about the line between madness and rationality. Why is that? It's because the story's premise focuses on narrator denying and attempting to prove that they are not mad. Okay, so there are two main symbols in the story. The first one is the heart, or the first one is the eye, which represents the evil, and you know what that means, and the heart, which represents the narrator being paranoid. Now, as it becomes more clear that while they display their patience and forethought, their decisions and actions are not based on rational thought. Okay? The narrator cannot tell whether or not they lost their ability to reason out. The narrator is convinced of their sanity that suggesting that the same thing could happen to anyone who's actually reading this book. Thank you.